Welcome to Liz's book review. Wah, 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 wah. We're gonna start by talking about Beach Read by Emily Henry for all you romance lovers, but not smut, romance. Different. Super cute book. Rom-com-esque book. I really enjoyed it, but maybe it's because they were both authors and I aspired to write my own book, but I felt really connected to them throughout the entire story. Even how neurotic the main character is, because I myself, shocker, am neurotic. Okay, plot points. January is the main character. Just gonna say it, she hates the winter. She's a published romance novelist, and she inherited her father's secret love shack, where he had his affair, and she knew nothing about until he died. And his mistress showed up to his funeral with a letter for her, and that's how she found out that her dad was a cheater.
The other woman just gives the daughter a letter?
A letter with the key to the house.
Oh, so it wasn't like a fuck shack. It wasn't literally a shack.
It wasn't literally a shack?
Yeah.
But it was their fuck shack.
Yeah, I guess.
It's like what middle-aged people do. They don't have shacks. They've got real houses.
I figure, you're up in the mountain, they're mountain people, you know?
Mm-mm.
I bet there's fuck shacks in the mountains somewhere.
I hate to tell you this, Patrick, but it's called Beach Read. They're at the beach.
Oh. You're right.
Not mountain read. Okay. The house next door is actually owned by another author, Gus Everett. Okay. Only writes tragic tales. He's straight up super gloom. Which, as every romance novel lover knows, the man is always fucking mysterious and has really deep feelings, but isn't the best at communicating them. And that's our boy Gus. He actually went to college with January, and she hates him. But she doesn't hate him because she knows him. She hates him because they were rivals in college. Even though we find out that he doesn't feel that way. He actually had a crush on her, and he couldn't understand why she was mean to him, which I think is very funny. Again, I felt like I really related to the character. I'm not this way anymore, now that I know how to flirt, but when I was younger, I would be mean to boys. Yeah. And that's how I started. So
Naturally.
Also, even in college, she was he's so mysterious and sexy, but he's my rival. Okay.
Sounds like just misinterpreted, young sexual tension.
It's college for you. Okay, but now they're adults. So, okay, she's next door. She's trying to clean the house out, fucking get it ready to sell. She's selling all the shit that's in there. And Gus is right next door. And, they keep having these weird run-ins. And they start to get to know each other, and they actually start to like each other. And they make a bet with one another, where they each, challenge each other to write in the other person's genre. So he writes a romance and she writes tragedy. And the winner sells their new book first, right? And so whoever sells it first wins, and then the loser has to publicly support that author's new book. That's funny. She's well known, but he's even more well known. He is a revered author. And she's a romance novelist, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just a little different. Okay. On Fridays, he teaches her how to look at the dark side, and they interview people from a cult. It really isn't a plot point other than he had these interviews planned, and he's well, this is how you interview people when you're trying to research dark shit. And on Saturdays, she gives him romance lessons.
Yeah.
I know, right? So obviously they really like each other because they're spending all this time together and they're getting to know each other, but then uncertainty gets injected into the relationship, so they get close, and she's still dealing with the feelings and the fallout from her father's death, and the fact that the mistress
I forgot about the mistress. The fact that I was so hypnotized by a mysterious hot guy
that hot guy Gus. She's still dealing with those feelings, and the mistress actually lives in the same town where she's been staying while trying to sell the house. Right. So she's run into the mistress a few times. It's very uncomfortable. But she's there to sell the house. She's trying to write this book. And she's the kind of woman who makes up the story in her head
And
without
believe-
actually fucking talking to him. So she starts to like make herself spiral. Instead of just asking him or telling him like what's on her mind, she just like fills it with non-truths. They finally have sex. Steamy. They only have like there's really not a lot of sex in this book, but when they had sex, it was good. I'm very happy I read it. I even wrote in my notes here, fucking hot. I fucking hot, and I wish it lasted longer. That's how good she wrote sex. Let's go, Emily. That's the author. But right after, things get a little weird because he gets this call, and he's like, hey, can you, like, go back to your house? Like, I gotta take this call. It's really important. She's like, yo, what the fuck? And then she finds out that he's married. Gus Everett is married. But she finds out that they're separated. That they're actually in the process of getting a divorce. So it's not even like she's the other woman. They end up going to a local book event where they're both like speaking authors. And when they get there and they sit down, they're about to start, guess who shows up?
Gus.
Gus is there as a speaker. Gus's separated wife.
Oh.
I know. And she's like, yo, let me talk to you. So he goes to talk to her after the event. And January heads home. And guess who's sitting on her porch? The fucking mistress.
Right.
It's crazy. What happened was, when she got the keys from the mistress in the letter, she never read the letter.
Oh, bold move.
Never
I
read the
couldn't
letter.
have
She was
stopped
like,
myself.
this is, for her, it felt like the last piece of her father.
Mm.
Before she found out about the affair, she always had wonderful memories of him. She loved him. That's why she's so conflicted about it.
Right.
From talking, the mistress confronting her on the porch, from talking to her, she finds out that there's a ton more letters from him. And how to get those letters is in this one first letter.
Ah.
Mm-hmm. So she finds them. It's in a file cabinet, basically. Finds them. So many. She reads them all. And she lets herself feel it. You know, she cries. She feels that pain. Then her best friend comes to town to visit her because her best friend's obviously worried about her. And her best friend, honestly, fucking homie. Like, she's kind of like sprinkled throughout the book from like texting and talking on the phone, but this is when she shows up. And she's like, all right, bitch, the first thing we do, we eat. She makes her eat. Then she's like, all right, now we're going to deep clean the house. Don't tell me about your bullshit. I don't want to hear it. Cleaning the house. So they deep clean the house. And then they sit down. And she's like, nope, I still don't want to hear it. We're eating again. That's a good friend right there.
That is a good friend, yeah.
And January even admits it's like to herself, like, yeah, I needed to eat twice and clean. Like, it was good that we waited to talk. And they end up like talking and they fall asleep on the couch. And then there's pounding on the door. She's like, what could it be? She hasn't heard from Gus. The last time she saw him was when he walked away with his soon-to-be ex-wife, but what was it about? She's obviously spiraling. Oh, they're back together, blah, blah, blah. Then he pounds on the door and it starts to rain. She goes to the door. Her best friend's like, yes, bitch, fucking get with your man, right? But by the time she gets to the door, because it fucking takes her a minute, he's gone. So she walks out. She's in the rain now. And she's walking across the lawn to his house. And he is...
Wait, he's just across the street
They
this
live
whole
next
time?
door to each other.
Jeez.
So he opens the front door. He's got music blasting, and he sees her in the middle of the lawn on the way over, and he runs out. There's just this loud fucking music blasting because he was like gonna play this music and like wait for her to come out to like dance with her in the rain because that's what all the romance novels say to do. And then like he explains, you know, that his wife wanted him back and that he rejected her and he wants to be with January. Okay, cute. They're together. Fast forward, they wrote both their books. They both finished their books, and they both actually sold their books, but January sold hers first.
Mm.
And then right after they finish reading each other's books, they go inside the house, and he proposes to her.
That's sweet.
And that's the end of the book.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll give it 4 stars. 4 clams. 4 clams, guys. It was really nice. It was a really cute book. It was a book after reading like a couple of heavy books, so it was nice to like read like a nice light read. Definitely like a good vacation read if you're going to the beach, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, light read. It was very fun. Like you really feel for the characters. I felt like Emily Henry did a great job writing it. I really enjoyed it.